Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. We got a Mr. Ballen for y'all today. Cause we fly high. No lie. And you know it's... Yes, y'all say it in the comments. Y'all say it in the comment for a brother.
Say it in the comments.
Say it in the comment for a brother.
I said it for you, babe. But y'all said it too.
Say it for one time for a brother. But hey, man, we got today's top 3 photos with disturbing backstories part 3 for y'all today, man. Hopefully y'all having a good day. Hopefully y'all feeling good. If not, hopefully the energy and the vibes can give you a little pick me up today, man. But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, always make sure you check out down below in the description box. Say it, just say it.
Yo, yeah, down below, child.
You already know where to go. Hey, go over there to the extra dose, man. Go over there to the Patreon. Go enjoy more content, man. But also, if you enjoy today's visuals,
please like it with a thumbs up.
And if you happen to be new to the channel, always hit the subscribe button, right?
Yes, please do that.
All right, let's go. Enough talk, man. Enough wilding out, man. We got to get going. We're doing a lot of videos today, y'all. So hopefully y'all appreciate that, man. We're doing a lot. You hear me?
Well, let's get into it.
You heard me.
I heard you.
Today, I'm going to share with you 3 progressively more disturbing stories. And at the end of each of them, I'm going to share with you a picture that is famously associated with them. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right channel because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, then please throat punch the like button and then subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. Between 1974 and 1975, a criminal who had been dubbed the Visayala Ransacker had been terrorizing the Eastern District of Sacramento, California. Initially, he would break into people's homes when they were sleeping by prying open one of their windows. He would go inside and basically ransack their house. He wouldn't steal any of the major valuables that were right in plain sight. He would just kind of throw things all over the place and would take 1 or 2 small things, probably as a souvenir. Unfortunately, by the summer of 1976, this Visayala ransacker was not only not caught, but was also no longer satisfied with just breaking into people's homes and ransacking them and taking a few things. He had moved on to killing people, and so he had been given a new nickname, one that just about everybody knew at the time, and that was the Golden State Killer. Once he began killing people, he became much more cautious about how he would actually go about attacking them. He would oftentimes break into his victims' homes while they weren't there, and he would walk their property, look for guns and unload them. He would look for any security cameras or devices and turn them off. He would plant ligatures, pieces of rope and twine that he could use to bind people's arms and legs. He would place them in their house, and then he would leave. And he would study his victims and get to know their patterns and know when they were going to be in the house, when they were going to be in certain rooms. And then at some point, he would sneak in through a window at night while they were sleeping, and their victims would wake up with him standing over them with a flashlight in their face. On the rare occasion where neighbors or police had actually spotted this guy, they saw that he was wearing a full face mask and he was very athletic. He was able to elude police capture and would jump over fences and would run away. By the end of 1976, when the Golden State Killer had still not been caught, citizens of Sacramento became furious with the police. They felt like they were not doing enough to try to catch this guy. So on November 3rd, 1976, the police actually host this huge town hall meeting, and they invite all the citizens of Sacramento to come be a part of it, voice your complaints, listen to what police are actually trying to do to catch the Golden State Killer, and basically just have an opportunity to air your grievances a little bit. During the meeting, a man in the crowd who was a citizen of Sacramento stands up and basically starts making fun of the Golden State Killer, calling him weak and a coward, saying, you're preying on women. If you ever came to my house, I would totally beat the crap out of you. Like, this guy's a joke. And everybody in the town hall meeting just totally ate it up. It was like this one little victory for the town of Sacramento. Sacramento is we're going to put down the Golden State Killer for being weak and a coward. Then, in an ironic twist of fate, that guy who was making fun of the Golden State Killer, he and his wife became the next victims of the Golden State Killer.
My goodness.
And in fact, the Golden State Killer changed his entire MO. Instead of kind of targeting random people all over Sacramento, he began only targeting married couples, and he would always attack when the husband was home. For decades, the Golden State Killer eluded capture and even taunted the police in threatening phone calls all the way up until 2001. But in 2016, they reinvestigated the Golden State Killer case using DNA evidence, something that was not available in the 70s and the 80s when they were investigating these crimes.
Yeah.
And it was through this reinvestigation that they were able to capture 74-year-old Joseph D'Angelo in 2018, who was, in fact, the Golden State Killer. D'Angelo pled guilty to 13 counts of first-degree murder and was given 12 consecutive life sentences.
Wow.
When the killer was finally identified as Joseph D'Angelo, police were going through some of the older case photos and they made a startling discovery. This is a picture from the November 3rd, 1976 town hall meeting, and there in the middle of the photo is none other than Joseph D'Angelo, aka the Golden State Killer. And he was there when that citizen of Sacramento stood up and began berating the Golden State Killer, saying how he was a coward and weak and that he would totally beat him up if he ever came to his house. And there's Joseph D'Angelo sitting there listening to this guy. And after the meeting, what does he do? He targets the guy that spoke out against him. And even after he attacked this guy, apparently he was so upset that he changed his entire MO and only targeted married couples from that point on, as if he was proving a point that you can't touch me.
Wow. They should have known that it was a possibility, especially like with those like super like arrogant, cocky, what you looking at? Super arrogant, cocky, like killers or whatever the case may be. A lot of times they be like in plain. Oh, that's what he looked like now. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
I know when he said it, I was like, that sounds so familiar. That is crazy.
You know what? That
is look just like a younger
version.
version.
A younger version.
That is crazy. But y'all should have known it maybe was a possibility, because sometimes they be like right there. They want to know what's going on. They want to have control.
Somebody in the community.
It's somebody in the community.
Spit your gum out.
No, I had it at the roof of my mouth, but it's somebody in the community. And a lot of times, like when situations like this happen, they show up to those events. They show up. They want to know. They want to have their hands. They want to have control. They want to be like 2 steps ahead of you. Like, wow. And he's just sitting there, just all casual, just sitting there.
Sitting there and taking
in all the information. All the information.
It's like, damn, you know that you're a psycho when you do some shit like that, though.
Most definitely.
BC just sitting amongst people like, see how y'all think about me. And you want to have all this whole outrage, and you want all the attention on you by talking about me. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Most people would have did the same thing. I'm saying if most people, if they were in his shoes, mindset. In his shoes, and they were in that meeting and have committed those crimes, and somebody talk all this bitch shit, like, most people would have said, "Okay, I'm gonna show you."
Oh my gosh.
Most people, I'm saying not most people would have done it. I'm saying if they were in his shoes at that time.
So I wonder when was his like last like victim or victims?
He was older when he got caught. So
I know, but
and he's 79 now.
Did he stop in the 70s or in the 80s, or did he continue to do it? Cause they just got him, right? What?
He was born. He was married during all this time.
And a lot of times they be a lot of
he
times
was married the whole because
family.
he's been married. He was married in 73, and him and his wife stayed married to 2019. I guess that's when she fell. He committed his crimes between 1974 and 1986, but I doubt he just 100% cold turkey stopped. It's just something that y'all haven't been able to connect them to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, did you just stop like in the 80s or something, and then all this time you just been living your life? Like, that's I don't know.
Oh, he got arrested in 2016.
Yeah,
In 2016, he got arrested.
That's
but
what he said.
So he was committing the murders in his 30s. Okay, he was born in 45. So 1975.
That's crazy.
Basically, his late 20s, 30s. He was started committing. Well, his late 20s, he started committing the murders and crimes.
And then the breaking in the house and like just taking like little things like you're like, oh, this is easy. Like this easy to me. Like I haven't got caught. I'm at the really.
He was just your average white guy in the community. Married. Late 20s, 5'10", blend in.
That's crazy.
Nothing about him stands out. Your average white guy.
No one will ever like, oh, yeah, that's our guy right there.
Yeah, just your average white guy. Oh, and his MO, 9 times out of 10, they was thinking a single man possibly. Because he was targeting women. They probably never thought it would be a married man. And then for you to start targeting couples, you're not thinking married man. I wonder what the police thought back in the day. All right, that's enough.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. I wonder what the police really thought.
Like with situations like this, I really do be like, yeah, okay.
I wonder what they really thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Was he single? Was he a married man?
Like
what
who were y'all
looking? I'm in mind of some criminal mindset.
Yeah, for real. That's real.
What Spencer always be like? What's the is it the MO? No, not the MO, but like the.
Okay.
Damn, I can't think of it. I can't. The profile. Criminal profile.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Yeah, the criminal profile.
Can't touch me. By the time Tyler Hadley turned 15, he was skipping school regularly and hanging out with the wrong crowd. Tyler's parents had tried to do everything to get their son back on track between doctor's visits, psychiatry appointments, medication, an outpatient mental health program, but none of it seemed to work. Tyler just was on the wrong path. As Tyler's behavior continued to get worse as he got older, his parents just didn't know what to do, became very frustrated with him, and became very, very strict disciplinarians. One night when Tyler came home and he appeared to be intoxicated, his parents took his phone and car away, and Tyler was furious. And he confided in his best friend Michael Mandel that he thought his parents had gone over the line, that they were over-disciplining him, and he said to Michael that he wanted to kill his mother.
Ooh.
Now, Michael knew Tyler and had known him since he was a little kid, and he did not think twice about this claim that, Tyler wanted to kill his mom. He just thought that Tyler was frustrated with his parents, and Michael did know that Tyler's parents were very, very strict and hard on him. So he just kind of wrote it off. Not long after this incident, Tyler starts talking about this huge house party he's going to have. And all of Tyler's friends, including Michael, just didn't buy it. They're like, there's no way you could ever pull this off. Your parents are too strict and they never leave town anyways. But every time people approached him, he would say, oh no, my parents aren't going to be there. They'll never find out. At some point, Michael gets a Facebook invitation to Tyler's big house party, and he sees that it's been sent to so many people. It's been sent well beyond an inner circle of friends to just total strangers. And then on the Facebook invitation itself, someone had posted on the wall, hey Tyler, what are you going to do if your parents come home? And he responded to that, they won't, trust me. On the day of the party, Michael shows up to Tyler's house and it is packed with people. Lots of people he didn't know, and he was fairly certain Tyler didn't know them either. And he goes inside and it's clear that no one gives a crap about the house itself. People are writing on the walls, people have spilled stuff all over the ground, there's broken glass on the ground, people are rummaging through the food in the fridge, no one cared about the house. And Tyler, oddly enough, didn't seem to mind at all. The only time Tyler became on edge was when he felt like the party was getting too loud. And he would go around and tell people to be quiet because he didn't want his neighbors to hear, because the neighbors would call the police and he didn't want the police coming to the house. During this big party, Tyler pulls Michael aside and says, hey, I gotta tell you something, come outside with me. When they get outside, Tyler looks at Mike and just says, Mike, I killed my parents. Michael doesn't believe him, but Tyler says, no, look in my driveway, their car is still here. They did not go to Orlando. I killed my parents. Michael still didn't believe him, and Tyler said, go inside. I bet if you look around, you'll find blood in my house. So he goes inside and he starts looking around, and when he goes upstairs, he sees there's blood on a table right outside the master bedroom where Tyler's parents slept.
Oh,
and
wow.
on the door handle to the master bedroom, there was also blood. So he goes back down, and he goes, Tyler, you're playing a prank on me. And Tyler goes, no, when the party dies down, I'll show you.
motherfucker leave.
Michael, how many times somebody got to tell you that they done...
Bro, I'm not finna stay here. I'm going.
And now you done had this party, so the whole, everything is just like...
Nah.
Well, I guess upstairs not. Unless hopefully people didn't go upstairs. Like,
where the bodies
the crime scene.
Where the bodies at?
I feel like I done heard the story before.
The body's probably still inside. Michael, go home. Bro, I would have been dipped.
And I'm calling the police.
Yes.
Don't tell me nothing.
Proof. At this point, Michael is starting to think this could actually be real. And Tyler walks away, and Michael's thinking to himself, I can't wait till the end of this party to see if this is really true or not. So he goes upstairs, goes to the bloody door handle to the master bedroom, opens it up, and the door actually hits the leg of Tyler's father, who's laying on the ground, who's deceased inside of the master bedroom. He shuts the door, and he's standing in the hall, and he doesn't know what to do, because on the one hand, Tyler's his friend, but he just discovered Tyler's a murderer. He also knew Tyler's parents really well, so he's deeply saddened by what he just saw. And as he's standing there, he's realizing that he has to turn Tyler in. And so for some reason, he just felt the need to take one more picture with Tyler, because he knew as soon as he left the house, he was going to go tell authorities what Tyler had done, and he was never going to see him again. And so he goes over to Tyler and he takes this picture. After Tyler was arrested, he admitted that just hours before this house party, he had bludgeoned his parents to death and stashed them in the master bedroom. Tyler was sentenced to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, and while he has been remorseful, he's never given a real reason why he actually killed his parents.
It ain't no real reason.
He probably don't have a reason. He probably don't have a reason at all. He probably just...
You wanted to be wild and live this life at this young age, and your parents were trying to instill...
You know what? Because he didn't say when it happened, did he?
No.
I wonder...
You wonder what?
Because he got re-sentenced. Because now... With him being a juvenile at the time.
Yeah.
You know, laws change where you can't give a juvenile life. And I wonder is that if you try them as an adult.
Yeah, I'm about to say it did.
Or but it's still, even if you try me as an adult and I'm a juvenile, like the little girl back home. How old was she when she killed her little cousin? Well, she was 12 at the time or 13?
She was 12. And the
but
girl...
she just turned 13, but they're going to try her as an adult. And I'm like, how can you try a 13-year-old as an adult? You can't. Technically, I don't think you can. I don't think you... Not that I don't think you can. I don't think you should try a 13-year-old. It
happened in 2011.
Yeah. So he's been re-sentenced, though.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Oh, my bad.
But I haven't looked into it like that deep, but... And he was re-sentenced in 2018.
Okay. Wow.
So I think after 25 years, he can go back. I guess go for parole. But he still doesn't have like necessarily a reason why he committed the crimes. And so can he show true remorse?
Right, true. And then also, he was already, I guess, that were getting him seen for like all these mental or behavior issues.
Yeah, when you think about that, yeah.
So that's an issue in itself. You know what I'm saying? So
technically, he could have played insanity. Honestly,
well,
I'd rather be a regular.
I was saying with the parole thing for him to be possibly one day let out. That's what I was talking about. I'm
just saying he could have played insanity then too, though.
I don't know, but
because he had a therapist. He was on medication. He could have said, "Hey, I was off my." If he had a decent lawyer, his lawyer could have. I'm just saying on some real spill though. That's just real knowledge. Right. I'm not making an excuse for the situation. I'm just saying from the legal side of it, and on the legal side of it,
it happens a lot.
On the legal side of it,
sadly,
when it comes up for his parole date, that might be an excuse for them to use to be able to get out. You know. And at the time of the crimes, he was a minor. Just saying. That's weird though. And because if you pay attention to the picture he took with Michael, he had a blank stare. It was like he was just there.
Yeah.
Like he's not processing. He's literally just there.
On the morning of Tuesday, April 20th, 1999, a Colorado high school student named Brooks Brown noted something strange. His on-again, off-again friend named Eric had missed all of the classes that morning, something that is totally uncharacteristic of Eric, who was a straight-A student. At lunchtime...
You know this? You know this? I can already tell you what this is.
Okay, don't tell me. Let me listen. No. No.
The date alone should already let you know what it is. Brown should automatically let you know what it is.
The Eric name sound familiar. The Brown, what was it? Brooks Brown?
Yeah.
Brooks Brown. Just let me listen to it. It kind of do, but I can't. April 20th.
The date itself tells 20th, it all.
1999.
Brooks Brown.
Oh, is this the Is this what?
I'll say this. Reason why I know it so well because I've studied it and I still don't understand it.
Okay.
I've watched several interviews. I watched the parents' interviews. I watched a lot about this. Mm-hmm. So, like, and not like an obsession of like, also I want to carry it
just
out.
Trying to understand,
but trying to understand and that's because you always like to point out that I be studying people. I be just trying to understand the mindset of trying to comprehend why would somebody. Sometimes, you know, I should have went to college for that. I should have went to college. You know what I'm saying? Explore the mindsets of
psychology.
It's that like, but I would have to have like a certain concentration on the psychology. I ain't trying to go to school for no damn doctor degree. Already 4 years already enough. Then you gotta go get your master's, get your doctorates. That could be another 4 more years.
But then that's not what you really want to do then. So
but I enjoy
it. Not enough. Just as a hobby.
And some people go for 10 years, bro. I ain't got time for all that.
Something that is totally uncharacteristic of Eric, who was a straight-A student. At lunchtime, Brown left the high school to go to the designated smoking area in the parking lot, and he saw parked in a very far away spot somewhere.
And I always say him leaving at lunchtime was weird to me.
Designated smoking area in the parking lot, and he saw parked in a very far away spot, somewhere that he never saw him parked before, was his friend Eric, who was in the back of his car pulling a large duffel bag out of the trunk. Brown puts a cigarette out and walks over and asks Eric, "Where have you been all morning?" And Eric turns to Brown and goes, "It doesn't matter. I like you, so you should leave right now. Go home." Brown was taken back by his tone and the general weirdness of the morning, but Eric was always kind of a wild card. He was a guy that had, in the past, vandalized Brown's house. He had posted death threats online about Brown. And then simultaneously, he would brag to Brown all the time about different accomplishments, like he desperately wanted approval from Brown. So it was a very strange relationship they had. Brown doesn't really know what to make of this, and so he kind of just shrugs his shoulders, turns around and walks away, while Eric turns around and continues doing whatever he's doing with his duffel bag. Brown gets back over to the smoking area, and he's thinking, maybe I should just skip class and go home, because maybe Eric has some prank that he's got planned that he's protecting me from. And as he's sitting there, smoking his cigarette, thinking about whether or not he's going to stay or go.
Don't you think that's like weird as hell though? Like, if when you think about it now, these motherfuckers have a smoking area for the kids.
Yeah.
Ain't this low key a little weird, bro? They had a designated smoking area for the student body.
Yeah.
Bro, like some of y'all really grew up, because I do know we got an older crowd to be watching this. Some of y'all really grew up in high school. Y'all was like, I went out for my smoke break. At high school. That's weird, bro. That's a little weird.
He's protecting me from. And as he's sitting there, smoking his cigarette, thinking about whether or not he's going to stay or go, he hears noises coming from the high school that he immediately assumes are fireworks. And so in his mind, he's like, oh, looks like he was planning a senior prank. He's lighting fireworks inside of the school. But then the sounds got faster and louder, and he turned to look at the school, and he heard people screaming, and he knew those weren't fireworks. Those were gunshots. Brown immediately runs to the nearest house, knocks on their door, and is able to get a phone, and he calls police. After Eric had spoken to Brown, when Brown came across the lot and asked him what he was doing, and then ultimately Brown turned around and walked back to the smoke pit, Eric had turned his attention to his duffel bag. He had pulled it out and dragged it across the lot to another car where one of his other friends named Dylan was also getting his own duffel bag out of the back of his own car. Inside of their duffel bags were propane tank time bombs that they planned to place all around the school in an effort to collapse the ceiling of the cafeteria, because what they wanted to do is get people to start running out of the school so they could start shooting at them. Eric and Dylan's car were parked far away from their usual spots, kind of strategically located near where first responders were bound to come in, and they had rigged their cars to explode so that when they did come through, they would detonate and hopefully take out the first responders as well. Eric and Dylan had also placed another timed explosive on a field about 3 miles away that was purely a diversion. They were hoping it would go off, it would get police and first responders over there first, giving them more time to inflict max damage on the school. But with the exception of the diversionary bomb that did go off, none of the other explosives in the high school actually went off. So Dylan and Eric had to go to plan B, which is to walk right in the school and just start shooting. At the end of the day, 12 students from Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado had been killed, along with one of their teachers, as well as Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the two shooters. At the time, this was far and away the deadliest American school shooting. This senior class picture was taken 2 weeks before the Columbine shooting, and you can clearly see Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold pointing finger guns at the camera.
It ain't just them though.
Who they look click? They look click.
So this is Eric. This is Dylan. Dylan had longer hair, and Eric always wore a hat. Like he always dressed in black. Oh, they call themselves the trench. What is it? Trench coat. Yeah. Trench coat mafia or something like that.
I kind of remember that.
But you see, two other individuals doing the same thing. I wonder is Brown one of these individuals? Because Brown did used to hang with him and stuff too. And I want to say they did try to get a third person involved.
Yeah,
I've watched a lot about this.
I do remember that. Yeah.
At the time this picture was taken, they both knew what they were going to do to the students in that picture, because they had been planning this attack for over a year and referred to it as Judgment Day. So that's going to do it, guys. Give me your reactions to these 3 stories in the comments section, and I will pin the best comment at the top. If you enjoyed today's video and you haven't done this already...
That's crazy, though, bro.
I know when he said the Eric name, that did sound familiar, but you know, with Columbine, the reason why sometimes you said with the date alone, it's just so like.
Reason why I say that, April 20th is a very significant day. Now, if you look up April 20th, 420, it ain't just marijuana. 420, everybody 420. But it's a lot of other things attached to that day. That's when I was like, but the 1999 was like, oh. And I'm like, the first individual they shot was outside before they even went inside. You know what I'm saying? And they went up to a girl, because her brother came and spoke to us in high school, and that's the reason why I went and I started studying about it.
Yeah.
And he told, I forgot, it was something about, because she was very religious, and I forgot, he said something to her, but that's the one reason why he took her out too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's a sad day, though, at the end of the day, and so many other school shooters look up to them. They're idolized by a lot of people, still to this day. And unfortunately, I think it's gonna be like that forever.
Yeah.
Because I think in another video I asked you, I said, do you think they'll ever make a film about this, like an actual theatrical film? And I'm on a preview. I'm like 70% yes, 30% no. 70% I think it'll happen in the future. 30% I'm like, because of so many victims, and so many people that survive will have outrage, but so many family members that survive will have outrage, and I think that's what's stopping them from doing it. But if it wasn't for that, I think they would have already made a film about it. Like, you got to think about it. Y'all make films about other things that was way even more gruesome. You get what I'm saying? That depict certain life events that has happened that are gruesome. Not downplaying this. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But, or also it might be on a situation that's pertaining to a school. And that's one thing we do have a big issue with.
That's the reason why when you asked me in the last video, I was like, no. And I hope not. Because it's never done in a way, like you said, to shine light on the victim's life. And, like, you know, that is more so of basically not idolizing, but you do have a low key, you know, like the killers and stuff like that, and you have so many people like with the school shootings and stuff like that, because that is a problem. And when people dig back and into like the history or trying to figure out why, or did they leave something behind to, you know, whatever, it always comes back to this or this.
Because we never tell the story from the victim's point of view. We always show it from the criminal's point of view. Mm-hmm. And so we're telling their story more than we telling the story of the victim.
And I just, me personally, I'm just like, since it's such a problem that we have, mm-hmm. And so many people do look up to these guys and stuff mm-hmm. like that, along with others. I don't feel good about that. Mm. You know what I'm saying?
But there is a movie that was put out, not necessarily, but based off of that, it's called Run, Hide, Fight. I do like how they show the visual point of view from the victim and not necessarily the criminals in the act. You get mm-hmm. what I'm saying? That was more from the victim's point of view. You get to follow the young lady who decided to either run, hide, or fight. Mm-hmm. And she chose to fight. So the whole time of the movie, they're showing it on from her mainly from her point of view. Yeah. And not necessarily, and I think that was the best way to do it, if you was to do something, you know?
Yeah.
But I do think...
Yeah, no, with that, because I did watch that, and I was like, you know, it was from a different, you know, point of view and stuff like that.
That's not typical.
Yeah, but still, if it's done how I feel like you in your head asking me how, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm.
But I can see it happening.
I can see it.
This is America. I can see it happening.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid and Cee.
Cee Nicole.
We are.
Kid and Cee.
We out.